In my opinion, in the world of gaming pre-builts, you get two distinct kinds. You get one like the Acer Nitro 50 that we had a look at in a previous video. These are mass-produced in a factory and then sent off to Best Buy where they sit on a shelf until someone buys them. Now they're essentially just office PCs with a bunch of shiny crap glued to them, a graphics card put in them, and they're infected with a bunch of venereal disease. The bloatware on those systems is remarkably persistent. But yeah, so that's the bad kind. And then there's the better kind, which is usually built to order and ordered off of a website. And this is what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be comparing these two types of PCs. If you want to look at it in a more pretentious way, we're going to be comparing instant Nescafe coffee, which you can find in any supermarket, to better artisanal coffee. Kind of, I guess. Now, the artisanal gaming system that we're going to be looking at today is made by a company called 1337. Now, just full disclosure, they did actually reach out to me and send me this system for review, but there's no incentive for me to get you to buy these. If it's terrible, I'm going to tell you that it's terrible. Now, this comparison makes complete sense because these two systems cost roughly the same amount. The Acer Nitro 50 with a 9400F and a GTX 1650 cost me $710, whereas this 1337 PC with a Ryzen 5 1600AF and an RX 570 in it costs about $750, although prices fluctuate and so on. So they're right in the same ballpark. So with that, let's have a look at the artisanal build. And here we have the artisanal gaming build. The first very good sign is the fact that it comes in an NZXT H510, which is pretty much my favorite case ever. They didn't ship it in a protective outer box, but that's not an issue. It cuts down on packaging, and this NZXT box should be able to handle the rigors of being shipped, but we'll see the state of the PC just now. With that, let's open it up and see what the artisanal gaming machine has to offer. Now, the first thing is a quick start guide. That's actually pretty useful. I haven't seen that on one of these yet. It has information about how to plug in your system. That's very useful. It also tells you how to set up your Windows. That's pretty cool, how to change your account and so on. And then in here, it's got how to set the refresh rate of your monitor. That's all very good information for somebody that doesn't know much about Windows PCs. I need one of these for Mac OS, actually. As you can see here, the packaging looks like it suffered at the hands of a FedEx delivery driver that has stopped caring about life. The rear I/O looks decent though. That's a promising sign. It's got an Aorus motherboard in there, so that's a good start. It comes with that packaging inside, which is really good. It means that the GPU isn't going to shake about all over the place while shipping. Although, in the quick start guide, it doesn't explicitly tell you to remove that from the system. So I am worried that somebody may turn it on with that in there. There are also a couple of handling marks on the case. The inside of the artisanal build looks pretty spiffy in here. The cable management looks pretty good. There's no ketchup and mustard except for that little bit over there, but honestly that doesn't matter. The little LED strip did slip down, but that's something that is very easily fixed, and it could just have happened in shipping. It's actually really nice that they add that in there. This isn't the i version of the H510, so they actually added that in there themselves. It's good to see. As far as RAM goes, we don't only have single channel, which is great. It's got 16 gigs of DDR4, 3000 megahertz. I've used that Team Group RAM before. It's really good. There's a 1600 AF Ryzen 5 under there, which is an amazing value for money gaming CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads. The graphics card is an RX 570 Aorus version by Gigabyte, which have pretty good reviews online. When it comes to the back cable management, it's better than I was expecting, actually. This is a better job than I usually do. I kind of prescribe to the thought process that if you can't see it, it doesn't matter when it comes to cable management. Bear in mind that they did know that they were sending me this PC for a video, so yeah, do with that information what you will, although clearly somebody who works there knows how to cable manage. As far as the power supply goes, it's an EVGA 450PR, which is a 450 watt 80 plus bronze rated power supply. It's not the highest wattage or the greatest power supply ever, but it's a decent option for a budget build. Although a 500 or maybe even a 550 watt variant would have been preferable. Let's turn on the Artisanal Prebuilt and see what it does. Oh, look at that, it's all nicely lit inside. So as standard, they've got a copyright breaching background, which I think is pretty hilarious. But there's already a very good sign that it doesn't seem like there's any bloatware on here. It's just a plain install of Windows with Mozilla Firefox for some reason. I mean, do people still use this? Now it's finally time to compare the Nescafe build to the Artisanal build, and then we'll get into some benchmarks. Now, if you put these two little beasts next to each other, it's clear that the Acer monobrow is significantly smaller than the 1337 PC. This could be an advantage if you're very tight on space, but as you can see when it comes to gaming thermals, yeah, the little Acer PC does run quite a bit hotter. Now, when it comes to just a basic physical comparison, the front I/O on the little Acer PC is actually slightly better than the front I/O on the 1337 build. You do also get an SD card reader and you get both a microphone and a headphone jack. So it doesn't really matter that much, but it is a little bit better. However, when moving around to the back, the 1337 PC has more ports and also more video outputs so that you can plug in more monitors. An advantage the little Acer Prebuilt has is that it has a DVD drive in the front where the 1337 PC doesn't. So if they invent time travel and you take your little Prebuilt back to 2005, I'm sure you'll be very excited about that. And then when we come to the actual hardware specifications, this is where the 1337 Artisanal build really starts flexing its hipster muscles. Because of the Ryzen 5 1600AF, you get twice the amount of threads due to the hyperthreading. It has double the amount of RAM in dual channel and it's faster, running at 3000 MHz. The graphics card in the 1337 PC is also faster than the little Acer Prebuilt's graphics card, which is really important for gaming and fragging them noobs. Now, it does actually have half of the storage capacity at 500 gig as opposed to a terabyte on the Acer build, but it's an NVMe SSD, so it's significantly faster than that hard drive. It also has a better case. I've been using a white version of the H500 for ages now, and I really like it. Whereas the Acer PC looks a little bit too much like an office PC. It also has much worse compatibility for motherboards, so you can't really upgrade it in the future. Although, I am going to do a follow-up video where I take a Dremel to that Acer PC and see what kind of badass hardware we can fit in there. So subscribe if you want to see that. Another category where these mass-produced PCs like the Acer fail quite badly compared to the Artisanal 1337 build is when it comes to just the vanilla-ness of the Windows that's installed on there. With this 1337 build, it's just a standard install of Windows. You get Mozilla Firefox extra, but that's pretty much it. Whereas with that Acer PC, I'm kind of scared to touch it without gloves on. I've installed Windows on that thing twice, and it still is acting up. It's kind of like it's got gremlins and ghosts and stuff in it. It reminds me a little bit of HAL 9000. I'm just waiting for it to start turning all the electronics in the house against me. The thing is though, when it comes to future upgradability, the AM4 socket is always gonna win compared to Intel, because the Intel socket in the Acer Prebuilt has already been replaced. Yeah, so that's not ideal. Another pretty huge advantage to these built-to-order PCs is the fact that the drivers on it are all up to date. And even the motherboard BIOS is the latest version available for that Aorus M board. So if you do want to drop a Ryzen 3000 CPU in there, you can do that without having to worry about upgrading the BIOS, because 1337's got you covered. So it seems as though the artisanally built 1337 PC is doing very well compared to the Acer Prebuilt. But do bear in mind that this 1337 PC is a little bit more expensive and prices are fluctuating at the moment because stock is becoming really difficult to get your hands on. But maybe when it comes to gaming performance, that's where the Acer PC is gonna fight back. Although I wouldn't really hold my breath because of it's got inferior hardware in it, so it's almost definitely not gonna perform better. But let's have a look at the benchmarks.
One's long doors.
And with the gaming performance, yeah, it's not going very well for the little Acer Prebuilt. So bear in mind, you do have to spend a little bit more money on this version of the 1337 Artisanal build. But with that, you get better gaming performance, better upgradability, better I/O, and it's not all proprietary crap, so you can gradually upgrade it as well. I guess that falls under upgradability, and you don't get all of that bloatware, which essentially turns the Acer PC sentient and evil. Now, when it comes to value for money, I think the 1337 is definitely a better bet than the Acer build. It does cost a little bit more, but you get more performance and, well, you get pretty much more of everything. Now, bear in mind, if you do build the PC yourself, you will get even more performance for your dollar than this 1337 build. But if you're all ham-fisted and terrified that you may electrocute yourself while building a PC, then the 1337 is a really good bet, in my opinion. And with that, thank you very much for watching. So if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel for that up-and-coming Dremel to the Acer PC video. I'm really excited for that. Check out my stream, which is happening later today. Follow me on whatever social media you're interested in, the link below. And until the next video, bye-bye.